Hi, welcome to my video and welcome to my channel. This week I'm sharing a recipe for sabut moong dal, which is the whole green gram. We're going to use our pressure cookers and I'm going to take you over this step by step. What's more, we're going to be making everything in one pot, including the very yummy tadka. So let's get started. So today's recipe is going to be using the whole green gram or the sabut moong dal. I've washed it, soaked it, and I've picked through it for any stones. That's always step number one with any dal. Next, to your pressure cooker, you're going to add a little bit of oil and set this over high heat. And then to that oil, add some whole cumin seeds. You don't have to wait for the oil to get hot, just add them in. When they start to crackle, you'll know that the oil is hot enough. Next is some chopped garlic, and it does not have to be attractive. Do what you can. It's not going to matter in the end. Most of the time, when I'm cooking and I add those initial aromats, I always like to move them around a little bit, make sure they're evenly coated in the oil and that nothing's burning. And yes, it is possible to burn cumin. I've actually done it. All right, next comes some grated ginger, and I've used quite a bit of ginger here. All the measurements will be down in the description box for you, but I think I've used about 1.5 inch piece. Next comes the chopped onion and tomato. Again, it does not have to be attractive because we are using our pressure cookers. Nothing in here is really going to retain much of its shape. Don't worry, it's not going to get pulverized or anything. You'll still be able to see the tomato and onion, but this is not a recipe where you need incredible knife skills. Alright, a couple of spices now. We're going to add some turmeric powder as well as a little bit of red chili powder. And that's not going to make it too spicy or anything, and we're just adding a touch. What might make it a little bit spicy or a little hot is the addition of green chili. And if things look like they're drying out on you a little bit, you can add some water. We're going to allow these ingredients to cook and to come together for a few minutes. And at this point, we're going to add a little bit of salt. We're not, salting the entire dish here. We're just adding a little bit as we go. And after about 2 or 3 minutes, we're going to add in our dal that has been washed and soaked. And I really recommend that you do not skip either of those steps, especially the washing. The soaking just really helps your body to absorb the protein that is in this dal, and it also helps with the cooking time and the cooking process. Probably the most important thing for you to remember when you're making dal is the ratio of dal to water. In this case, it's 1:4. I find that's true for most dals that still have their skin. Still on high heat here, we're going to close up our pressure cookers and allow this to cook for 3 whistles. The whistle is, when your cooker has built up so much steam that it needs to release steam through that contraption on top. Anyway, it doesn't sound like a whistle, but this is what it looks like. Once the cooker whistles 3 times, it's still not over. You have to reduce the heat to sim, which is the lowest possible, and allow your dal to continue cooking for another 10 minutes. Then the steam has to escape from the cooker naturally so that you can open it up and hopefully it looks something like this. And you might be thinking, Anila, that doesn't look like dal, and you're right, because you need this thing for the final step, a dal gutni or gotni. You can also use a whisk. You put it in your pot, you swizzle away, you whisk away, and it's going to smoothen out your dal until it is the perfect texture. It should look thicker and smoother. It's still going to retain a lot of its textural elements. You'll see the tomato and the onion and of course the moong dal itself. What you want is a nice thick runny dal, not something watery or clumpy. Okay, now there's only one thing left for you to do. Well, 2 things really. One is to adjust the salt if you need to, and the second, which I recommend that you do, is to spoon in a little bit of ghee or a little bit of vegan butter. This is just going to elevate your dal just a little bit. Even if you're making this at home and it's just you and you're like a bachelor in your bachelor pad, don't miss this step, okay? A little bit of ghee, a little bit of vegan butter, a little coconut oil. If you're vegan, you could do that too. That's really just gonna bring it up just a little bit more. And you can garnish if you know what? No, don't garnish. We don't need to put dhania or coriander on everything, right? Forget about it. Just get some rice, some roti, whatever. Eat it while it's hot, I'll see you next week with another recipe. Thanks for spending time with me. Bye-bye.